of this was decided.
You really think you can change the future?
All of this was decided.
The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Landy Lodge, where today we have got an update on Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, new screenshots, characters, and lore piling in from the current beta test that's running, and thanks to a great friend of the channel, Keycast, we've got some stuff that we could share with you here today in this update. But again, if you guys are on the Twitter or X platform, make sure you follow Keycast. I'm telling you, it's a great way to stay up to date with everything. He keeps everybody in the loop and he reports on these things right away. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into some of these findings, as a lot of them are very exciting. First things first, we have this new character here named Nept, the operations master of the Baroque Society that Remus is a part of. And again, that Baroque Society, we've talked about it on podcasts. That's the society that you are going to be joining with your created character when you arrive to Scala at Caelum. But anyway, here's Nept. And, you know this channel, guys. We'll be the first ones to talk about mythological influence, mythological references. And, I've seen some people saying that, Nept could be a reference to Neptune, right? The god Neptune, the god of water, the god of the sea. And now people are starting to connect that to maybe this character is related to Aqua. Now, of course, I'm always apprehensive about those sorts of things, but I won't lie, the face does seem to resemble Aqua in a way, especially right here. The hair and the eye right there, to me, looks somewhat similar, but not enough to go off of. And again, I know the whole Neptune or Nept connection can be exciting, but for those of you that were with us during the Dark Road days, where there was tons of Norse influence, tons of Norse mythology names and references, and none of them really added up to anything having to do with Norse mythology, so this name Nept really might be a coincidence in much the same way a lot of those Norse references and names in Dark Road were. So while the idea of this character could be related to Aqua due to the mythological reference and their resemblance, let's not run away with that theory just yet, but it is a cool thing to keep in mind. Now, let's move on to another screenshot here. Coming to us from Keycast says, looks like Scala at Caelum has a group of scientists/inspectors that monitor the world with advanced technology in order to know when distortions appear. So let's take a look at these screenshots. As you see, we have a bit of a lab. This really seems like Ansem the Wise's spiritual predecessor in a way. You know what I mean? This sort of reminds me of like the sort of Radiant Garden laboratory. Obviously, it's a little bit more rustic than Radiant Garden / Hollow Bastion, but really cool stuff. I'm hoping he's a scientist we can trust. Typically in Square Enix games, you can't really trust the scientists. But considering we're going to be probably working with this guy, I hope that we could trust him more than, say, a Hojo. Or, a Vexen from circa Kingdom Hearts 2 era. Anyway, I'm rambling here. We don't really have a name for this character yet, although if it has come up since this video went up, feel free to drop it in the comments. But again, this is really our little science wing here in Scala at Caelum. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. Coming to us from Keycast, it seems like the Baroque Society that we will be a part of isn't really well liked or seen as reliable within the community of Scala at Caelum. So it looks like we'll be in a society that's either seen as like the outcasts or the troublemakers, or perhaps they're the elitists and, people kind of look down on them in that way. I don't know. It'll be exciting to learn more about that. But here we have Freya and we have Nept. Looks like the two of them are really going to be very involved on our journey, at least when it comes to getting our feet wet within this society. And then we have the scientists here, and we can see like they're almost groaning. They seem to be like groaning, like, ugh, the Baroque Society. Which is fine, man. I want to be part of the troublemakers. You know what I mean? I want to be part of the troublemakers. So this prospect actually excites me. If we're pissing these people off, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But anyway, let's keep it rolling here. Freya gives us the Fortune Gear Keyblade and a uniform that shows that we are part of the Baroque Society. So, very cool. I mean, we get to customize our avatar, so we're probably going to wear this uniform for maybe the first hour or two of the game, and then most of us will probably customize our avatars further. More to our liking, but very cool. We have a comment here I want to read from Keycast. It says, "It said in reports that Keyblades were forged in the past in the image of the Keyblade. So it may be possible for them to make multiple Keyblades to give out to people who are worthy of wielding them." That's a very interesting prospect. But anyway, we got a few more here. Let's keep rolling. Missing Link's story is shaping up to be really interesting. A sinister rival society, more unique characters and organizations, advanced technology, and us joining a society that isn't well liked. I can't wait to see where that story takes us. I mean, yeah, conceptually, there's a lot to be excited about there. And, as you see here, we see Nept and Freya. It looks like this might be the Baroque Society lounge or like a little common room or something. But yeah, another cool screenshot that's really kind of letting us into this world, giving us a closer look. Now this is where things start to get really interesting, so buckle up. These black feathers seem to be associated with darkness. Once placed on your body, you are then, I think he means hypnotized. Once they are on your body, you are then hypnotized into doing whatever you're told to do. When removed, you have no memory of what you did or why. Honestly, for you FF7 fans out there, that black feather usually foreshadows or alludes to Sephiroth/Jenova, and we know what kind of effect Sephiroth and Jenova can have on Cloud. So, there's plenty of FF7 influence in the Kingdom Hearts story, and it's good to see all these years later, there's a little bit of that still creeping its way in. But that's interesting, man. We got some conflict a brewing. We might see some wielders we love doing things that we're not quite fond of. But let's look into that a little bit further. From Keycast says there seems to be a rival society that has the ability to manipulate people to their bidding by sticking a special item on their body. And this seems to be who that rival society is, and they're the ones kind of controlling everybody. For what ends, I don't know. We could speculate about that all day. I'm sure we'll have a podcast episode about it. But this is very eerie. It looks pretty similar to that Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer where the Master and that unknown character is looking down on Sora from atop a building. So this is a little bit reminiscent of that, but very cool. We only get to see the backs here, but they look like two very cool characters. I'm a sucker for silver hair. What can I say? I'm a sucker for silver-haired anime characters. I think they look cool almost every time, but it's very cool. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. This is a cool little slide right here. Within the Baroque Society home base, we can see that Freya has been putting up what seems to be a map of the astral plane / Scala, and some reports. One of them has the Master's Defender on it. But yeah, I think it was discussed in one of the earlier updates that essentially one of the things we're going to be doing is mapping out the astral plane / the astral realm. But it's very cool to see here that we have what appears to be a person of interest who this character is. I mean, they look somewhat similar to Brain, but I don't think that's Brain. But we definitely have a character of interest here that the Baroque Society is keeping track of. And again, the Master's Defender, clearly right here and in sight. So, we know Brain's going to be a big part of this game, at least its story. And the Master's Defender being there, we'll see where that goes. But again, I think this is pretty cool. It looks like the Baroque Society is really just like at work. They're out to get it, which makes me curious what the other party might be after. But yeah, very cool stuff looking here. I'm excited to learn more about this. But I believe we have one or two more left. Yeah, we got one more left. So, a close-up of the communication device that allows us to stay in contact with everyone in Scala as we explore the astral plane. So again, this is more indication that we do have somewhat advanced technology in this society, even though it looks a little bit more traditional, rustic. There definitely is workings of advanced technology within this civilization, which it makes you wonder, how far do they take that? Do they find a way to use time travel? Do they find a way to find unreality or a quadratum? Like, where does this technology go? How are they going to use the astral plane to further their advancements and further what it is they're after? It's all very exciting, But that will wrap up everything that we have today. Obviously, much more is going to be pouring in over the next few days. I'll be putting out updates. We're going to do a podcast later in the week. There's plenty on the way, plenty in the pipeline, but they've left us with a lot to talk about here, and I'm excited. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link is moving along finally, and it looks like we can expect a release probably this year, but we'll hold off on that until we hear it from Square themselves. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up here for today. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit like on the video if you haven't already. You all be good out there. Be good to yourselves and each other. And I will see all of you beautiful sickos and normies next time.
All of this was decided.
Why not just sit back and watch it play out?
All of this was decided.
May your heart be your guiding key.